favorite sports news. Today, we dive into the ongoing controversy surrounding Mitch Marner's contract negotiations with the Toronto Maple Leafs. With Marner's current deal set to expire on July 1st, he's approaching unrestricted free agency, which could open the door for a trade. Marner is reportedly seeking a new contract worth $14 million per season, a 28% increase from his current $10.9 million salary. To put that into perspective, Austin Matthews is currently earning $13.25 million, while William Nylander is at $11.5 million. In today's segment, my co-host and I sit down with key figures involved in the situation to break down the implications of the contract dispute. Stay tuned as we explore what this could mean for both Marner and the Maple Leafs moving forward.
We interviewed key players in the contract discussions. Let's hear from Mitch Marner first.
I'm Mitch Marner. Thanks for having me. I've consistently been one of the Leafs' top players. I contribute in every aspect of the game, offensively and defensively. I'm out there blocking shots, creating turnovers, back-checking, and leading the charge in transition. When I look at the other players like Leon Draisaitl and Artemi Panarin, guys who play similar roles to mine, it's clear they're getting paid upwards of $10 million, some even closer to $12 million or more. So when I'm asking for $14 million, it's me understanding what my market value is and where I sit in comparison to other elite players in the league. Now, I get it. The Leafs are working with the salary cap, and there's a lot of pressure on management to balance these big contracts. I bring value that goes beyond what the stat sheet shows. Look at how I make my teammates better, especially Austin. We developed incredible chemistry. I set him up for a ton of those goals he scores, and without that connection, you can't just plug in anyone else and expect the same results. I don't think it's unreasonable to ask for a contract closer to what Matthews is getting, given my role and all the value I provide. I've earned this, and it's not just about the money. It's about the respect and recognition for the work I've put in and getting compensated fairly for that work. I'm not asking for anything outrageous. I'm just asking for what I know I've earned.
Thanks, Mitch, for your insights. We appreciate you taking the time to speak with us. To get a teammate's perspective, we spoke to William Nylander.
To be honest, Mitch is a nice guy, but let's face it, he embodies the losing culture of the Maple Leafs. As Raptors legend Norman Powell once said, this looks like addition by subtraction. Now, let's look at the numbers. I'm on an $11.5 million contract, and he wants more? Last postseason, I put up 3 points in 4 games. Marner, just 3 points in 7 games. And yet, he thinks he's worth more than me? Let's call it what it is. Ridiculous. The guy melts down in the playoffs, cries under pressure, and is a regular season merchant at best. Honestly, he's just the NHL's version of James Harden, a playoff choker. That's the reality Maple Leafs fans need to wake up to.
It's clear that not everyone in the locker room sees eye to eye on the situation, which only adds another layer to an already complex contract debate. Next, we heard from Red Bull's Chief Marketing Officer, Philip Haas-Manager, who has worked closely with Mitch.
Marner's involvement in our marketing campaigns has proven to be a vital asset, increasing consumer interest in both our product offerings as well as Leafs-themed merchandise. Prime example of Mitch's influence came with the launch of his signature can in March of 2020. Not only highlighted his unique status as the only Canadian Red Bull athlete with a globally distributed can, but also promoted, that strong connection between Mitch and the dedicated Leaf fan base. Engaged fans, of course, are integral to our success. They're much more likely to purchase merchandise, attend games, participate in promotional activities. Mitch's popularity, therefore, is crucial for driving sales and revenue for Leafs and Red Bull. We've also had great success with fun content that features Mitch, such as our Chirp versus Truth video series, allowing fans to connect with Marner by showcasing his personality, something fans typically, obviously, don't have access to. And one of our most successful campaigns, actually, with the Leafs was the launch of a fan quiz that gave participants the opportunity to play alongside Marner. And 5 fans suited up for a game with them and continued afterwards, where they stayed at a hotel downtown and then had a meal at the Real Sports Bar. It ultimately underscores Mitch's commitment to the community and his dedication to the Leafs fan base. His potential salary increase serves as a recognition of his performance, his contribution to the team, and his ability to engage and impact his fans. And ultimately, as he said before, he really can't see himself in any other uniform but the Toronto Maple Leafs.
It's clear Mitch has not only been a vital asset to the Leafs on the ice, but to companies like Red Bull off the ice as well. Here's Kent Hughes, the general manager of the Montreal Canadiens, on this issue.
Would Mitch Marner fit in our team? No. I do not think Mitch Marner would fit on our team simply because he is not a playoff player. Our team plays a fast and tough game, and most importantly, we play together. Mitch Marner does not have that kind of toughness to him, and that can be seen in the playoffs especially. How would Mitch Marner fit within our team's cap structure? Personally, I think he would ask for too much money and take up too much cap space. We currently have about $6.5 million in cap space, and I do not think it's wise to trade away any of our players for him, especially considering his play in the playoffs. How much would we offer Mitch Marner? We would definitely offer him under $10 million, but I'm currently not even considering it. Based on his lack of contribution in the playoffs, we would not offer him a lot. Our highest paid player is Patrick Laine at $8.7 million per year, and I don't see how Marner could take a considerable amount more than that. In addition, us and most teams will want to use our extra cap space to sign players that can add depth to the lineup. Also, in terms of competition, we have already beat the Leafs in the playoffs with Marner, and he was a cause for it. He had 0 goals against us in the playoffs. Therefore, our team is not worried about the competition moving forward, even if he stays on the Leafs.
Thank you, Kent, for your perspective. Now, if there's one thing Leafs Nation isn't short on, it's passion. And our next guest is no exception. A diehard Leafs fan who's been following the team for years, they've got strong opinions on whether Marner deserves a new deal. Let's hear what they have to say.
As a diehard fan of the Toronto Maple Leafs, I am definitely against re-signing Mitch Marner. The guy currently earns $10.9 million a year, and re-signing him on another long-term deal would strain the Leafs salary cap even more than it currently does, and also farther imbalance the team, which currently allocates 75% of funds to forward positions, limiting our ability to balance our roster. Moving on to comparing Mitch to other top players in the league, he currently earns over $1.5 million more than Mikko Rantanen, who is not only a far better regular season player, but also shows up in the postseason. So basically, Mitch is already overpaid for his production. And adding on to his abysmal postseason performance over the years, which has already led to a loss of confidence within the fan base, knowing one of their top players will most likely underperform, he is not worth a penny more than what he already earns, especially given insider leaks have suggested his agent wants upwards of $14 million per year, which is comparable to Matthews' contract and higher than the max offer the Leafs have already set. Ideally, we would want to trade Marner before the deadline for a top-tier defenseman or goalie, which would add overall value to our team when compared to re-signing Mitch.
Thank you. Some more great insights into the situation. We spoke to Brad Treliving, the general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Hi, Brad Treliving here. Am I comfortable paying him more than Matthews? I mean, there's always different ways you can look at questions like these. Mitchie's an elite player, no doubt about it, and he always finds ways to lead the team in certain aspects every season. However, if I'm going to be straight up here, I don't think there's any question that Matthews is our star player. He's our captain, he's the best goal scorer in the league, and he's one of the best players in the world. Ever since I've been a GM in this league, way back from 2014, I've always thought the star player should be rewarded and lead the team into the salary. So, while I love Mitch and his game, I can't justify spending more on him than Poppy. Especially when you play in a league that is going to reward the goal scorers more than the playmakers. Minus a few exceptions here, the elite goal scorers are more rare than the elite playmakers. You got guys in the league right now like Ovechkin, Rantanen, McKinnon, Reinhart, and of course Matthews. When you get the privilege of having a goal scorer like Matthews and Nylander on your team, you prioritize their paychecks. How are the negotiations currently going? It's been back and forth for sure. I mean, he's been a Leaf his whole NHL career. Although I've only been here for a couple years, this is my first time working with his team. We're trying to make it work for sure, but there's definitely been a few speed bumps in the negotiations, where it seems neither side's really willing to budge right now. He wants term in that high average, as he should. Although at this point, it looks like Mitch is just going to have to prove his worth and show up big in the playoffs and, prove that he's worth his asking price. If he can make a change in his game, then we'll talk. Would I give him a contract similar to Matthews? I think if he wants a contract similar to Matthews, he's going to have to show that he can make a change in his game. With Berube behind the bench now, we're trying to get tougher and play playoff hockey 24/7. Marner has let us down in the playoffs before. He hasn't had that same magic that he shows in the regular season. We also have to look at term length here too. If he wants that 6 to 8 year deal, we need to find the right balance here so that we're okay overpaying for him when he's past his prime. However, I'd argue that winning the Stanley Cup in Toronto is more important to him than anything. He's already got that generational wealth, but he doesn't have a cup. We need the cap space to put together a well-rounded winning team here, and we need Mitchie to be a team player. Matthews even admitted it himself that he took a discount in his contract to help build a winning team here in Toronto, so why can't Mitchie do the same?
There you have it. Opinions are split. Some fans argue Marner's consistency and playmaking make him indispensable, while others feel the Leafs could allocate their cap space better elsewhere and remind us that hockey is just as much a business as it is a game, and these decisions are never easy. One thing's for sure, the Marner contract debate is far from settled, and all eyes are on the Leafs front office. Thanks for tuning into the Group Sports News. We'll be keeping a close eye on the situation as it unfolds. Stay with us for more sports coverage after the break.